Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Talking of summer, I've got to thank everybody that I met down there yesterday at Wimbledon. I was at Wimbledon yesterday. It's absolutely brilliant. So many Arsenal fans. Big up to Mohammed, who's the first Arsenal fan I met when I was parking my car, and he was so excited about Declan Rice. To all the Gooners that I met at Wimbledon, it was absolutely brilliant. And what a day it was, man. I mean, getting to watch Djokovic live in the flesh. I saw a City fan there, and he described Djokovic as Man City in tennis. And you know what? You can't argue, man. He's cold and he's a winner. And that's where Arsenal are aspiring to get to. Trust me. Also got to say congratulations going out to Emil Smith-Rowe as the England under-21s made it to the final of the under-21s Euros. He's played an integral part in that. He had an assist in the game last night. They won 3-0 against Israel, and they go to the final. I think they take on Spain. So good luck to them in the final. But Emil Smith-Rowe really finding form in this tournament, and that's great news for Arsenal in the season going forward. Also great news was yesterday's announcement that the Jurriën Timber deal has been sealed with Ajax. We remember a couple of weeks ago, Arsenal put in this sort of shock bid. It came out of nowhere. I think it was David Ornstein who broke it at the time, that Arsenal had bid £30 million for Jurriën Timber. That was rejected, but they've now settled on a deal worth £34.3 million plus 4.3 million in add-ons. So Jurriën Timber will become an Arsenal player. Great signing for Arsenal. Manchester United's number one target last summer, remember. And for Arsenal to pull this off is impressive, especially at that fee. It's not a bad fee for an international player, a player of his age, and a player who's on the up. So another great signing by Mikel Arteta. And of course, the Declan Rice one, we're all waiting on the announcement. We're all waiting on the video and stuff like that. By the way, when that gets done, watch out for our video. It's going to come out on it. He's done himself. Listen, it's unbelievable this time, right? But Declan Rice and Timber, as long as they pass their medicals, will be signing on for Arsenal. And I noted yesterday, Danny Murphy was speaking to Five UK, and he said that he ran into Declan Rice at the weekend, and the Declan Rice is absolutely buzzing about the move and described Mikel Arteta as being magical. So all bodes well. Great that he's looking forward to the challenge. We're all looking forward to seeing Declan Rice at Arsenal, and I bet Arsenal can't wait to get started. Arsenal, what I've loved about this transfer window, have a clear strategy. In so many windows over the years, there's been no strategy. It's just been get rid of players at the start of the window, take ages to do that because so many of the players are worth nothing, or so many of the players literally you got to offload them for free, and then right at the end of the window, go bargain hunting and see what you can get and bring in, or go even worse. Go panic buying just to kind of appease the fans and do something, right? But we saw it in the last transfer window with Arsenal. The last two transfer windows of Arsenal, we're seeing it again. There's a clear strategy. Phase one of the strategy: get players in before pre-season. Your main targets, go after them early, get them in, and give them a full pre-season. So £210 million spent. Kai Havertz, 65 million, 105 million on Declan Rice, and now up to 40 million on Timber. All in early, all will be able to do a pre-season, all will be ready for that first game of the season when we take on Nottingham Forest. That is definitely phase one. Phase two, keep the players that you've got that are really, really good. So signing Xhaka on to a long-term contract was great bit of business, very important business, especially what you saw what Xhaka did for England, just after the season finished. So that was a great bit of business. Signing Saliba, that's set to be announced very shortly, but Saliba has agreed a long-term deal. One of our best players as well, best defender, signed on to a long-term deal. No dithering throughout the summer, no people hovering around. Could he go? Could he stay? Right, done. sealed at the early in the transfer window. And also Reece Nelson, who's going to have his new contract announced as well. Long-term contract. He signed 4 years with an optional for 1 more year. There were teams in France, there were teams in the Premier League, in Italy, who were all interested in Reece Nelson, who could have walked away to any of those for free, but he's decided to stay at Arsenal, and that's great news. But that is phase 2, what Arsenal are doing, keeping hold of those great players. Even Nwaneri, even the young talent who could have moved, they tied him down to a new scholarship deal. Then he's going to sign a new deal when that finishes at the end of next season. Tied down. That's great. So there's stability there. And then phase 3 now, I think, and phase 4 is going to be 2 things. Phase 3 is going to try to recoup now some of the money that they've spent. £210 million spent. How much of that money can be recouped in doing good transfer business? And then phase 4, I feel, is then looking out and seeing if there's any other great talent out there that's obtainable by Arsenal, or being able to react to any player that may leave. Like, if Thomas Partey leaves, then they can move in for a Lavia, etc. So a clear strategy, and I like this. And this is what's so important in this transfer window. Has been so impressive so far. So long may it continue. And as part of that sort of phase 3, as I said, getting rid of players. We spoke about this one yesterday. Xhaka is going to be moving on. It looks like he's going to be going to Bayer Leverkusen. Arsenal should be able to get a fee of around about £21.5 million, recoup that back and get that back into the coffers, which would be good. Didn't really want Granit Xhaka to go, but I get it. I understand it. In the last year of his contract, Leverkusen offering him like 4 years. He's hit his 30s now. It's security for the player. It's first team football for the player. And it's a good amount of money for Arsenal. Excuse me. Another player, Nuno Tavares. Looks like he's going to be on the move. He's wanted by Galatasaray, we know. But West Ham said to be showing a big interest in Nuno Tavares. Arsenal have set a price of around about, well, depending on where you're reading it, it's starting from about 21 million to 25 million that they want for Nuno Tavares. Now, Tavares is said to be holding out for a more important offer. That will really piss West Ham fans off, a more important offer. But Arsenal will want to sell Nuno Tavares. And if they can get that sort of money in for him, again, great bit of business. Moved on a player who's on loan all season last year. Good player, but probably not going to, get first team football at Arsenal. Best to move him in and cash in on him. It's somebody that we can sell for money, which we haven't had all the time over the last few seasons. And then there's a whole host of other players. We don't know what's going to happen with these players, but these players could all be linked in a phase 3 in Balogun. Tierney, is he staying or going? Rob Holding. Again, Thomas Partey, we don't know if he goes out, but we'll have to get someone in to cover him. It will have to be maybe a Lavia or someone, but what's happening with Partey? They're going to be trying to resolve that. Pepe, Cedric is still at the club. I'm sure they're going to move him on. Runnison, I couldn't believe he's still at the club, but, Runnison's still here. Austin Trusty, who spent all season last year on loan at Birmingham City, did really, really well, by the way. And we'll have a lot of suitors for him if Arsenal want to move him on as well. So Austin Trusty, if they can get a lot of these sales done, they could generate up to £100 million or more in sales and also in particular save a lot of money off the wage bill, which is really, really important for Arsenal. Is one of the reasons why they've been able to spend so much money already this summer, is because they don't have that massive wage bill that they've had in the past. But who else are they going to move for in that sort of phase 4 and, identifying talent and maybe players they can bring in? I spoke yesterday about Jeremy Frimpong of Bayer Leverkusen. Those rumors still persist today that Arsenal, are interested in him. Apparently held talks with him as well. Leverkusen are going to want a lot of money for this guy. Previous Celtic player, 40 to 45 million pounds, we're being told. It's going up all the time now. One player that it doesn't look like Arsenal will be getting, who they've been looking at, is Arda Guler. When I say looking at, I think they've made inquiries, but I don't think they were going to go full in for him. Looks like he's on his way to Real Madrid. So Arda Guler, the talented kid from Fenerbahce, heading to Madrid. Also, Xavi Simons. Remember I spoke about Xavi Simons and how he's got this sort of buyback clause, this weird buyback clause inserted into his contract at PSV. He was previously at PSG, and they've got this clause where if they activate it, they can buy him back for 6 million euros. That's all. That £5 million. They can buy back Xavi Simons, and apparently they are activating it. And it's going to fall down to the player. He decides if he wants to go back or not, but they're going to activate it, and he could be on his way back to PSG, which would knock out any chances of him being signed. Now, what about this one? Dusan Vlahovic of Juventus. Remember when Arsenal were trying to sign him? I think it was £75 million we were offering up. This is all before we got Jesus. He turned us down. This is when he was at Fiorentina. He went to Juventus, and you have to say he's been very unflattering. He's not really worked out at Juventus. I mean, don't get me wrong, Juventus has been a bit of a nightmare club over the past couple of seasons with him getting docked points and all kind of stuff going on off the pitch. But on the pitch, he has not delivered goal-wise for Juventus, not in the prolific way in which he was moving when he was at Fiorentina. Now, Calcio Mercato publication over there in Italy claimed that his agent, Darko Ristic, has been in talks with a few clubs in the Premier League. Those clubs are Arsenal, Chelsea and Manchester United. Indeed, we heard that Chelsea put in a bid of £52 million for him, but that was turned down by Juventus. They're looking for a lot more money for him, and they are willing to sell him, and he is willing to move on. And it looks like his agent is trying to hawk him around various different clubs, and you know, how things change, eh? And Arsenal are one of those clubs that he's been hawking him around. Now, if you speak to a lot of Arsenal fans, and as I said, I was at Wimbledon yesterday, a lot of them are saying to me, Robbie, I think we need a striker. We need a striker. Should Arsenal go back in for Vlahovic? I mean, are these talks, is there any sort of substance in it? Do you think that Arsenal are going to be going back in for him? I'm not sure on this one. And listen, we've got Gabriel Jesus in there now. I guess, listen, if we move Balogun on and we got a big fee for him, Vlahovic could become definitely viable. And as I said, there are the links there. Calcio Mercato saying that Arsenal are definitely interested. It's one of these ones we're going to have to keep an eye on. It's the phase 4 one, isn't it? Where Arsenal are looking at certain talent that emerges. But certainly when you talk about bringing in a striker, there's not a lot of top strikers out there in European football at the moment that aren't already established at a club. And he's one of them. He's going to garner a lot of interest over the summer. And could Arsenal make a move for him? He's said to favour a move to Bayern Munich, and his agents are trying to push him out there as well. But let's wait and see how that happens. But as I said, that publication claiming that his agent has had talks already with Arsenal, and they'd want a lot of money. No doubt they probably want about £75 million. So it'd be a big outlay. Let's see what happens with that one. So still exciting times at Arsenal. We're still waiting on these big announcements to happen. But Timber, Rice, and we've already got Havertz. I mean, we're off to a good start. Thanks for watching the show. Don't forget, you can stream this as well and listen to this as a podcast, right? So make sure you check that out as well. But thanks for watching the show, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.